We are back. That's right. We are back to the Race and Ethnic Relations on Campus podcast show. I am Dr. B. This is show number 57. 57. And it's entitled Racism in the NFL. The John Gruden Fallout. That's right. We're going straight for can you believe we're going straight for the National Football League, the NFL. This is a bit sports related, yet it does transfer over to what happens in everyday life and in so many different respects. But just almost 2 weeks ago now, there is a unfortunate incident, tragic incident, in which an NFL coach had to resign. So that's the reason why I'm doing this show number 57, Racism in the NFL, the John Gruden Fallout. I want to thank, again, let me just take care of some business. I've been, it's been a very busy month of October. Been meaning to try to get to our podcast show, but it's just been a very, very busy month with classes and projects and research projects and this and that. So again, I tried to find the best time to do my podcast shows, and it's late night, it's in the evening time. But I think this is the best time to do this particular show number 57, Racism in the NFL, the John Gruden Fallout. Let me give a shout out to my sponsors. Thank you, Podbean, of course, Amazon Prime. I want to thank iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio. I want to thank Spotify. Thank you for featuring us, Spotify, and all the platforms and we're just continuing to grow in other areas and other platforms who are showcasing our podcasts and all types of other platforms. They're featuring us, and I'm very proud and honored that many of the new platforms are picking up our show, and because we continue to do this and been doing and addressing these issues, these overlooked issues, for a good year now, year and a half. It seems like even longer than that, but we just keep rolling. I want to thank everyone for listening across the board, all our listeners. We have over of this particular podcast show over 1,900 downloads. This is the 74th of the other show as well, 74 episodes, but this is show number 57 for our Race and Ethnic Relations on Campus podcast show. So there you go. I did all the necessary connections with the platforms and our supporters. And again, as you know, these shows are all about truly digging deeper, doing a deeper dive on a lot of these issues. And I am just by the way, Dr. B, yes, I played sports back in the day, and I play football. So I'm always connected to whether it's high school, college, pro, the activities in the NFL. I'm very much connected and loyal to the NFL from day one, from all my years of growing up, and particularly playing. But what hit the NFL just less than 2 weeks ago was the resignation of head coach John Gruden of the Las Vegas Raiders. Resigning. Being asked to resign. Was actually should have been fired, but with the owner of the Raiders, he eventually resigned. And let me give you just a little bit of background, for those of you who may not know about this incident, which sent shockwaves through the NFL. Like it's the first thing, like it's first time it ever happened. But let me get to this. Again, John Gruden. Let me just say he resigned, and due through the reporting of certain emails that he sent to a general manager of the, or part owner, not owner, but general manager of the Washington football team back in 2010, of his emails that were discovered back in 2010, in which John Gruden was a sports analyst, commentator on of ESPN football. And these emails, again, like I said, dated back to 2010. And these emails were basically racist. I'm going to describe it to you as it was described by the New York Times. New York Times detailing racist, homophobic, and misogynistic terms in his emails from 2010 that was discovered. How he talked about African American men, women, and also homophobic comments in these emails. And they were raw. They say they were very raw, straight to the point. And so once the New York Times got a hold of these emails, and here's the thing, even the NFL knew about these emails during this past summer, did not do anything about it. The Raiders, as I understand, as I tried to get all the information before I do these shows, even the Raiders organization knew about these emails this past summer, did not do anything about it. And then apparently the New York Times decided to release more of these racist, homophobic, misogynistic emails sent by John Gruden to another NFL administrator. And so this is the NFL supposed to be for everyone. It's supposed to be all this representing equality across the board, and yet they have a primetime NFL coach, John Gruden, have a history of talking like this, but again, not talking, but how do I say this? Interacting in a very not professional and discriminatory way. Now, let me just read the comment from John Gruden as he resigned. Quote, this is from John Gruden, his statement after being asked to resign. He said, "I have resigned as head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. I love the Raiders and do not want to be a distraction. Thank you to all the players, coaches, staff, and fans of Raider Nation. I'm sorry, I never meant to hurt anyone." Quote. Wow. Wow. Now I'm going to bring the context of myself as not scholar, but as I said, as I love the NFL. I know something about John Gruden as a person who admired a lot of the NFL coaches over the years, his particular analysis over the years, but not knowing of what he was saying like this. And it was a shocker because it came during, I think his resignation came during a Monday night game, and this was breaking news. And so, again, the context, how I digested it, I said, gosh, this is a guy that came from, again, the state. And I'm just going to say this. I grew up in Ohio. John Gruden grew up in Ohio. I think he grew up in Ohio. He attended University of Dayton. I think it was close by where I grew up. And played for the University of Dayton Flyers football team way back in the day. I'm talking about during the 70s. Again, this was shocking. But But yet, not surprising to me. Why? Because just based upon the inner circle of coaches and their persona and their how they're protected. It's a good old boys club environment, and sometimes when you're in that environment, that's your work, that's your lifestyle. No one tells you what's right and wrong. Again, very few people speak up to tell a head coach or an analyst or a sports commentator, you may be communicating wrong about a number of things about people, other people. So think about it. It was these emails that were discovered. However, John Gruden more than likely had communicated like this for quite some time, and no one spoke up to at least enlighten him that you really should not do this. Whether back in 2010 or even particularly now in 2021. So again, it's pretty amazing to me as a still a sports fan, a former play the sport, but trying to come to grips with how he talked about all these different things, issues, degrading issues, and really didn't think nothing was wrong with it. That's what's shocking. Really did not think anything was wrong with it until it was released in the mainstream. And in his statement, he says, again, this tells you how out of touch he still may be. He said, I love the Raiders Nation and do not want to be a distraction. Wow, that word distraction. I mean, that's the culture. The Raiders and the NFL trying to change the culture, trying to be likable, trying to be nice, trying to get rid of racism, trying to get rid of homophobic activity, trying to get rid of misogynistic activity or thought and all of that. Because we know it went on years ago. This is what the NFL, most professional sports, trying to get rid of. But then you have an NFL coach finally discovered that this was his way of communicating. And then he says, I'm sorry, I never meant to hurt anyone. Again, that tells me that he's still clueless. He was clueless of the damaging words that he used in communicating about a number of folks, players, league officials. The derogatory comments, was not aware. No one checked him. And that's what's surprising. No one stepped in to help him and say, this language, your language is wrong. No one stepped in. Why? That's my big question. Why? Some people need awareness, guidance, because again, they were raised where it was okay. But then when you get bigger and bigger in the media, as your brand gets on a national scale, which John Gruden's brand was on a national scale. He was with ESPN. ESPN is owned by Disney. John Gruden's with the Raiders, the NFL. So your language and your thought should have changed. And let me just say, the NFL knows that this is not just a one issue deal. Now I'm getting to the essence of about the issues of racism. The NFL knows, and I'm saying that they know it has gone on for quite some time, and it's out there still in some areas. I wouldn't doubt it. And there may be other incidents of this maybe coming out this year sometime. I heard a few comments from other sports shows that they're trying to clean the house. Basically, the NFL trying to clean the house of racism. And John Gruden is the tip of the iceberg. And in this past 2 weeks, I've seen a comment out from John Gruden saying that his case is still not done. So it sounds like John Gruden doesn't like the way he's been treated by the NFL. Yet we know there's probably, not know, but I say we as the general public, but sports fans more than likely know that, these types of things are still out there in the NFL. And more than likely, there may be some other incidents that eventually get to mainstream media. So, again, there's no tolerance of this. Should not occur anytime. But let me just say, it happened. It happened in prior years. I'm talking about decades, but even, let's not be naive. We know it's out there still in 2021 in so many different areas of professional sports. And it is time to clean up this stuff. But let's not by far be by far naive to think that John Gruden is the one and only person. I'll tell you that as a former athlete, former player, playing, back in the day, it was, things like this more likely was being said. And as time went on, everyone recognized that, this type of activity, behavior should not be tolerated. But again, it was a part of the culture then. And I think John Gruden was not aware how the culture has changed. And no one enlightened him that you need to clean up your act. Yet there's other folks out there. Let's not be naive. And they need to clean the house up on a lot of different teams. And I'm just saying that the Washington football team is already paid over $10 million. I think the owner, Daniel Snyder's already paid over $10 million, of which they were fined by the NFL of their very discriminatory behavior in their organization. And again, it would not surprise me that some other incident may come up by the end of this year or early next year. Because, again, there's usually, not just one person, but there's usually a host of other high-ranking individuals who carry on with the same type of language interactions as, unfortunately, as John Gruden has been able to get away with, okay, for a while. And again, people just don't know. And they have to become aware that times have dramatically changed. And so I'm saying this because those of us who played the game played, some level of organized sport, high school, college, and I've had friends play professional football. It's a different culture, and you have to change that culture. It's not easy. This is a good step by the NFL, but I'm going to hold the NFL accountable for for getting rid of more of these situations and not protecting folks until the end of the season, next season. Again, and all those who are in not just the NFL, but we can go across the board in other professional sports. I'm not going to name other professional sports. And they need to clean up their act in other professional sports all across the board. So, and again, the purpose of this show is to address the racism in the NFL, make the person who was identified, head coach John Gruden, glad he resigned, yet he should have been immediately fired. Let's just say that, immediately fired. Yet the owner did not want to do that. Why? Why the NFL did not step in immediately and demand a firing? They did not. And then the Washington football team, knowing about these emails for over, how many? 11 years. 11 years. Not doing anything about it. John Gruden being hired as NFL coach when folks knew that this had been said back in 2010, yet still hired. So there are a lot of folks, entities, professional agents who are culpable. And this goes to, unfortunately, ESPN, those who kind of look the other way, John Gruden's close network of friends, associates. Like I said, should have encouraged him to change his ways, help him out. And so, again, I don't know all the, again, that's what reason why I waited for 2 weeks to do this show, to get more information. And more information is slowly coming out. So, again, there's going to be legs on this show. That is, there's going to be other issues going to come out, I'm sure, after the NFL season is over. And this is going to go to litigation. And there's going to be other accountable parties in this event. So, again, this is just, I think, the tip of the iceberg. There's going to, and I would not be surprised there's other incidents that will come out by the end of the NFL season. Once the NFL season is over with, I would anticipate more fallout from this John Gruden incident that may surprise us even more. Even more. So, again, I'm disappointed in the NFL, disappointed in John Gruden, disappointed in the league, disappointed that, racism is so much still a part of the NFL. Yes, racism is still a part of the NFL. I said it. If you allow this John Gruden to be a part of the be a head coach for X number of years at the Raiders and know about it, and then until the New York Times gets a hold of this and publishes, then you are again, the NFL is culpable with this. They should be held accountable as well. And so, reason why, again, that is how you allow racism to continue, by not addressing it right up front as soon as you find out about it. So, yes, I'm saying the NFL should take a hit on this as well. And I think the commissioner of the NFL is doing a great job. I forget his name, Goodell, current commissioner. I think he's doing a great job. And but I think he needs to clean house even more. Okay, clean house even more, and that's what you have to do at this point in time. And if you're really going to be representing so many cities, so many talented athletes and their families and the fans all across the board, making multi-million-dollar deals, got a clean house. And I think this is just the start of things to come. And I would be surprised, I would be completely surprised if this is the one and only incident. I would be completely surprised if this is the one and only incident. So again, this show is calling out for more accountability, to dig deeper into what these issues, what this particular incident is about, and all the players that are connected to this should be accountable. And so it should not just be one person; it should be multiple layers of individuals, organizations, companies across the board to accept their responsibility. Again, I hate to say this, unfortunately, racism still is a part of the NFL in 2021, and the John Gruden fallout is just one incident in this year that shows that we still have a long way to go. And but again, this is something that needs everyone's attention, because again, just because you have reached the top of your profession, John Gruden was rehired by the Raiders. By all accounts, he was head coach with the Raiders once, got fired, won a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Bucks, and outstanding Tampa Bay Bucks in the early 2000 and 2001. Then went to ESPN, became a sports analyst, became a commentator, became on Monday Night Football, then returned to coaching with the Oakland Raiders. Then they moved to LA. So now they decided to let John Gruden go after they knew all of this information about him for over 11 years. So again, there's so many other folks who know what is going on with this situation, and I can't wait to see how this situation falls out when the season is over. So again, I'm not going to be naive saying that this is the only incident. That I feel disappointed in John Gruden, disappointed in the Raiders, disappointed in the NFL, disappointed that been able to get away with this. It's time to clear house, time to address these issues, because again, it's a different time, different place, different situation. Get your act together, and let's take care of racism one by one. And for this incident in the NFL, stand up, be true to what your brand is, what your brand is. So again, the NFL had to do what it's had to do, but it's finally. And so let me finish right here. This is a tough story to actually do, a podcast show to do, because again, I'm an NFL fan, and but things have to change, and change immediately. So there you go. I'm 29. I didn't even think I was going to go this long, but this is 29 minutes. This is Race and Ethnic Relations on Campus podcast show. That's right, podcast show. Show number 57. Show number 57. It's entitled Racism in the NFL, the John Gruden fallout. Want to thank my sponsors, Podbean. Thank you, Spotify. iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio. And thank you also 2018 ABC Clio for publishing my book, Race and Ethnic Relations. Again, this is Dr. B. Enjoy the month of October. We out. Peace out, everybody.